Hello and welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today we're going to be working on the Volkswagen T1 Samba issue 113 from DeAgostini. Let's go ahead and get the book open. And this is actually a pretty awesome stage because I've looked at the book a little bit. This is where we're going to start putting the roof windows in. And then we're going to put the roof windows in. We're not going to start. We're going to put the roof windows in. And then you can see here. Let me pick that up so you can actually see it. We're going to make the interior to the body and the chassis to the body. So this is going to be a pretty big stage. And I just realized, let me go ahead and turn the page and then I will pause the camera because I don't have the body of the car anywhere near me. I thought there would be some screws in here. So let me set those up there and I will be right back. Okay, so here's the body and still has this problem of this will not stay all the way forward. I may figure out something to do for that. I mean, it's a little bit stretchy. I may figure out something to actually latch it up there. But let me double check in the book. Okay, so there are two specific windows for the front, and then the rest of them are all the same. So I'm just looking to see how it says to do. Carefully examine the roof windows. Front has two tabs on the bottom. Okay, so yeah, throw the windows around. Just looking on here, there should be, I believe this is it right here. And as usual, I have the gloves on so I don't leave fingerprints on the windows. I think this is the right one. Oh, they made it idiot proof because this one has two tabs. Let me see. I'm not seeing the other one with just the one tab yet. Ah, okay. So this one has just the one tab right here, and that'll go on the right-hand side. This one has two tabs, so it'll go on the left-hand side. And you simply put it in place and pop it down. It is just that easy. Make sure, yep, there's one tab over there. Do the same thing, pop it in there. All of them should pop in just like that. And the rest of them, I don't think it doesn't look like they're directional. The rest of them are exactly the same on how you install them. But they are directional because if you look at this one, it will not go in this way. But if I turn it over, it still doesn't want to go in. There we go. And actually, I grabbed it out of the package and flipped it over just to see if that was the case. Come on. So there's that side. And the body is not flexing a whole lot anymore. I don't think. The doors are actually taped shut. I'm leaving them taped shut until I get the car finished. Then we'll see if it will, if the doors will stay shut. Because the body still flexes a little bit. There's number 7. And what I'm actually doing is I'm pushing here in the front with my thumbnail to get it to slide in there. And I've got this one backwards. They will not fit if you've got them in there the wrong way. That actually is a good piece of plastic to hold for putting glue or what have you into it. There's a very slight slant on the edges of the window. It's easier just to test fit and see if it's going to fit. If it's not, turn it around. Let go. And that's the windows. So now, don't need this glove anymore. What it says to do is take, does it have you put it all the way on its back? It doesn't say to that you have to, but I'm pretty sure rolling the van over 100% on its back is the best way to do this. You need to make sure your wires are out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a couple of clamps from beside me just to hold the wires down out of the way here, in the back, and then we've got 3 wires up in front. They actually fit very nicely through the slot for the where the bumper is going to go through. So let me put a clamp on each of them to hold them out. Whoops, dropped it. Hold them out of the way. Let me see if there's anything else I got to do. Put the body upside down. Worktop. Retrieve the interior assembly, insert it in the body, taking great care not to damage wires of the interior of the body. Then flip it over. Okay. Properly fitted, following instructions picture, secure it with 2 BPs and 6 BD04 screws. So we've got 2 BP screws that are going to go into plastic. Just looking, I see this. See where the 6 go? Okay, the BPs are going to go back here. I think. Just looking where the body should fit. I almost wonder if these wires need to be somewhere else. Oh, never mind. Duh. I'm thinking it's going to attach here, but it's not. It's got this deck on it. Get it off of it. It's been sitting on the chassis forever. But the deck here is slanted like that. So I'm going to just make sure. I wonder if any of these quote unquote carpets, if these plastic floor covers are going to be in the way. This could be a little bit tricky. Not near as tricky as something just came loose, fell off inside. Okay, it was the brake lever. That's not a big deal. I can put that in once the car is together. Just making sure. It's kind of odd that the front is just kind of floating here. It's not attached at all. That probably has to do with where the steering wheel goes. Sorry, I know you can't see this, but I'm trying to sort out what I need to do for the steering wheel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the camera and then come back and tell you what I had to do to get it all in place. Okay, it took a little bit of messing with it, and the driver's side door is flopping right now. I needed to push it a little bit forward. Right now the body is a little bit spread open. I think it will actually fix itself as we go. But let me find the oil. There's Earl. Make sure wires are all out of the way. Let me see. Those are pinched. There we go. We're going to pull the wires over. We're actually going to start up here in the front with the first BD04 screw. And of course, I don't have the screw box over here, so not quite ready for prime time, but that's okay. We will press on. So get the BD04s out. I'm keeping them separate in separate little tins. They're just off screen. Matter of fact, there. And then, those are BP04s, the ones that are going into plastic. These are the BD04s that are going to go into the die cast, and therefore we'll get oil. Find the right screwdriver. And so we're going to start in the back. And we're going to actually hit these tabs back here. It's going to be a little bit of flexing to get everything into shape. Of course, it would be better if I grabbed the right screw. Just make sure. No, that was the right screw. I'm about a dork sometimes. Because I looked, there's 4 here. Well, we'll find out. But let me put this screw back in here. Come on. Okay. Tighten that one down. Grab one for the other side. That hole is lined up. Tighten this one down. I almost wonder, you know what? Since this one's in question, I'm going to go ahead and take it out. Again, screwing up the plastic with the number of times I'm putting it in and out. We're going to set it off to the side. There's always a spare. I know these are the correct ones. So we'll put this one in here instead. Because it felt a little bit loose when it went in. Now this is where it gets interesting. Let me get the oil pumped up to the top. And these things, these reservoirs were designed for alcohol, not oil. So they sometimes don't work very well. I know the reservoir is off screen right now, but here is where things are going to get a little bit tricky. Okay, so that's on there. I need to carefully get this threaded into the die cast because that's where it is, where the car is a little bit spread. And it'll get better as we go when we put the chassis on. The chassis is metal, so it'll hold everything in place correctly. You may not see this. When I'm looking at it, I can see that the screw holes are just a hair off from where they should be. Come on. There we go. Now we're going to go up front. And it's go ahead and move the car back a hair. It is this hole here, and this hole here that we're trying to hit. That hole is where the carpet is supposed to, the black mat is supposed to be sticking through that hole there. I'll have to fix that Oh, there we go. There's that one. This one's still closed. And some of the spots the carpet has fallen out. All that will get fixed once the car is upside right. Go ahead and put this one in front. And by the way, what I forgot to say, what I had to do was open this door, the driver's side door, and push the steering wheel down a little bit from my perspective, which then puts that centered. You see how it's a little bit off? And that's the steering wheel flexes. So when we do the steering, I think it's actually in the next stage, it will hook together correctly. This side, let me see. The hole is close. Let me push it forward a little bit. Thread it in there. Going together nicely. This one's lined up. So we're going to slide this one in, or screw this one in. I will tell you right now, this is not near as bad as the Ecto one was. That was crazy getting the parts all to line, or the chassis to line up with the body. Are you in? Are you in? Please be in, because you're spinning like you're. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. This mystery screw here we will set right there out of the way. You see, does the door latch? It almost looks, the door latches now. That's very cool. Okay, so the next step, let me go ahead and I'm going to pause here, read this. I'm actually reading what it says in the instructions, folks. Put it on your calendar. I don't do that very often. But I'm going to read what it says and figure out what I have to do to put this together. I do know that it's going to end up back on its back like this, but I need to figure that out, and I'll try and film it if I can. I'll be right back. Okay, read the instructions. There was a very bolded portion that says we screwed up because you plug all the wires in corresponding numbers, except in the case of wire 1, which should be inserted into connection 2 of the circuit board, and 2 should be in connection 1, which means basically if you step on the gas, the horn sounds if you put them in backwards. So most of these are pretty easy to do. We have wire 7 plugging into wire 7 here. Except you got to make sure you've got it the right direction. And then wire 4 is going to go into wire 4, plug 4 on the circuit board, which is for the speaker. And that is one thing I don't like, is that up till now we have not tested anything. There is no guarantee that the electrics work in this at all. And then wire 8 is going to go into plug 8 or socket 8, however you want to put it. Make sure it goes the right direction. Wire 6 into 6. And interestingly, wires 1 and 2 do not reach yet. They're not going to reach until the car is coming over on top of itself. Matter of fact, this one, wire 4, is pretty close. This is wire 9 going into plug 9. Wire 10 is also too short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this off screen, because there's a couple of other things I got to make sure that they line up. I'm just looking at some things here. But there's a couple of things I'm going to make sure they line up, because I have to actually be holding this up on top of on the top of the body while I do this. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to do anything filming wise, and if something goes really south, I'm not going to be on camera while I rant, rave, and lose my mind. So let me get this shifted over, and I'll be back as soon as I get these wires in place, and the chassis will be just sitting on the car. Okay, I'm back. Let me grab this box out of the way here, and you'll see that I put batteries in, cheapo Amazon batteries, after I got everything arranged, just to make sure that everything's going to work. And let me see. Wrong camera. So you can see the taillights there. They're not that bright in real life. Let me see if I can find the brake light. Brake lights work. The horn, such as it is. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. The horn works. The accelerator. Oops, that's great. Not a whole lot. Might be a little bit louder, or let's see if this makes it different. Might be different once all this is done on top of here. But I wanted to make sure that the electrical system worked. And if you look, of course, I'm sitting here. Hang on, let me go back. I'm sitting here, start looking at it. Got double screen going. Let me take this light off my head. I got a double screen up here, and I'm looking at one, and you guys aren't seeing a thing that I'm doing. So let's try this again. There's the tail lights. There's the brake lights. And you already heard the engine and the horn. So everything kind of works. It's a little bit, the speaker's a little bit rough, but not too bad. And like I said, you can see that I've got batteries in here. Not actually supposed to do this test for a couple of stages, but I wanted to check out the electrical and make sure that it was going to work. This is all I've got to work with for how to do electrical power inside the van. So I'm not sure. I might just buy the replacement batteries that have a cord that'll run out of here and go from there, because that's a really small area to try and do anything in. Now, up inside here, not really much room. Also was looking at the back end where there were some spots that there were a couple of hoses that I never saw anything that they got connected. So I actually went back through the PDF that I've got and didn't find anything. So let's see, what do we got? We got 2 more BPO 4s going into plastic. Oh, and the clutch, the parts that have fallen out during this portion of the build, the clutch and the emergency brake, or the oh shit handle. So let me go ahead and move this forward a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Back here are where the 2 BPO 4s are going to go. And if you've been following along, you know that I broke the rear bumper at one point. Long time ago. Because the way, front and back is the best place to grab a hold of part works, or at least that's where I tend to grab them. So the front bumper and the rear bumper, actually you can't see it. Make sure, yeah, I'm on the right screen. But the front and rear bumper to me were where they grabbed this. Was bad idea. I snapped this off right here. And that is super glued. It's actually holding up very well. There's a little bit of damage to the, I think that's just glue. But it's very flimsy. And you can see it flexes a lot more than this one over here. But once the van is in display, it's not going to get picked up again. Plus the case is on its way. So now we've got 6 more of the screws going into die cast. And we're going to again start on the passenger side wherever I can see them. This is the first one going in back here. Is this down? Yeah. It was a little bit interesting making sure that all the wires were out of the way. Like I said, a little bit disappointed with the engine sound. Horn, okay. But actually, that's about what it sounded like. It sounded just about like a lawnmower. Air-cooled engine and all that. That screw goes in here underneath the wheel. I think. Doesn't feel like it's hitting anything. Yeah, it looks like it's not completely in. It should be. Let me see if I can get this one to go in. This is always the challenging part of these builds on a car build, is making sure you get the chassis and the body married completely up. The problem is, especially on one like this, you don't have a whole lot of visibility when you're putting the wires in, and you might actually tweak one or break one. That's, I think, what happened on my Ecto 1. I have one light on the roof that does not work. I've tried doing a jumper, and it works even worse. So, is this one going in? This one's going in, I think. Yeah, that one's in. So the only thing we got left is this one over on the passenger side. Hopefully this one will catch this time. Interestingly, it is not. Something just popped a little bit, maybe. And it looks like actually the frame, the body is a little bit tweaked towards the front. Slide off the screw. Come on, get in there. I think it's almost. Let me go off camera real quick on this one, and I will be right back. Okay, got it in, and so now the van is sitting on the back. Let me take a real quick look and see. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't have to flip it over and then flip it back over, back and forth while doing the next couple of stages. Next stage, after this one, we'll be doing the steering box, which will be another video, but it's getting there. We're going to end this video with the van on its back, Beetle on its back. but I'm really happy. This was the hardest stage on the van, and it was not that difficult. Got a couple of things I got to mess with to get back into place because these are press fit. They aren't glued in. They fell out while I was moving it around. Sounded like that was might have been metal, but that's all there is for this video. Hope you're enjoying this. Couple of things that I need to fix on the van by the time before I finish it. And I have seen people with their with the issue with the roof where it doesn't completely fit. I may just let it be as it is, and when it's sitting on the shelf, the roof is slightly open. Loving this build. Hope you are too. With that, I will say, have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. Hit the bell icon to be notified of whenever I post new videos. Like and subscribe. Come on over to Hobby Time Modelers on Facebook, YouTube, and Discord. Links will be in the descriptions. And everything right there was out of sequence, but that's okay. I hit them all. You know, been a couple of days since I've done a video, but take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you in the next video.